What's going on, you guys? So I wanted to do a special video about Slitherine's 20th anniversary. So this is a big thing. Slitherine is 20 years old. And I wanted to just do a video just highlighting some of the games that had a profound impact on my life. So yeah, let's start from the beginning. So one of the first games that I've played that I remember in like recent memory, as far as I can remember, was Forge of Freedom. Now, if you guys don't remember this is one of Slitherine's oldest games. I think it's from 2006 right here. And I love this game. I used to play this like non-stop. And it was a really amazing game. You had a campaign map here, right? And you develop brigades, you put them in corps and armies, and as you can see, you have commanders of those armies. You got to fiddle with the order of battle. And when, you had like an army move over to like a Confederate territory right here, you have the option to go to like a tactical fight. This is kind of like very similar. It kind of reminds me a little bit of like Civil War II. It's kind of like a mix. So yeah, this was a really amazing game that I played, and I had years and years of enjoyment. I still consider this as one of my favorite Civil War games. Moving on, another game that really struck home for me was Birth of America. Now, the reason this kind of game strikes home for me is after Liberty or Death, right? If you guys are not familiar, Koei, which is, I believe, a Japanese publisher, made a game called Liberty or Death. And it was one of my favorite American Revolution games, but it's like from the 80s and 90s. It's a very old game. It's like 8-bit or maybe 16-bit. I think it was 16-bit because it was Sega Genesis, but, that's where I initially started playing games, on the Sega Genesis, so don't judge. Anyway, I was looking for a successor to that game, a game that I can go to for my American Revolution, kind of needs, for my strategy gaming American Revolution needs, if there is such a thing. So, yeah, I found this game, and this did it. And what I love about this game is it's so, like, epic for me. Like, you have leaders like George Washington, Artemis Ward, you have John Glover, like names that I remember from the Liberty or Death game or from, American Revolution books. And you move your units throughout the strategic map here. And it's really awesome because, every turn you see your units kind of like moving, and weather affects movements. A lot of things affect your troops moving. And also when, a continental unit hits a British unit, you go into a battle here, and it gives you some nice stats, right? It tells you how many soldiers you lost, how many cannons, who won the battle, things like that. And you can do, I believe, like, it has tons of detail and statistics, but there was another thing that you can do in this game. I can't find it in a screenshot. I do like this. This kind of gives you like a heads up on which provinces are, leaning toward continental, which provinces are patriotic versus ones that are like loyal to the British. So there's multiple map views to this, which I really love. You have a map view where you can kind of see, your territory that you control versus the British territory that they control. Other things that kind of struck home was there's like an event system in this game, which I can't find a screenshot for it here, but there is an event system similar to this. But when you click on it, it allows you to kind of like select, like raise regiments, things like that. So this definitely had an impact on my life, and I really love this game. And it only got beat out by its successor, which is Birth of America 2, Wars in America. The mechanics are very similar, but it extends the gameplay to pre-American Revolution and post-American Revolution. So you can fight the War of 1812, which I really enjoy playing. Other cool things, there was another couple of cool things that this one had, and I'm trying to remember. I remember it had, I believe, a lot more events. So, like, I believe these are, like, new things that you can do, new orders. But I remember it was basically a big jump from Birth of America 1 to Birth of America 2. So if you're wondering, like, which Birth of America you should get, I would highly recommend this one, because not only do you get the American Revolution fight, upgraded mechanics, but you also get to play in the French-Indian War as well as the War of 1812, which, again, I believe it's the same price, right? $15. So I recommend Birth of America 2. That's the one I always play now. Moving on. Panzer Corps. Now, Panzer Corps is one of my favorite games. It's... And the reason why I would say it's one of my favorite games is because I played Panzer General multiple times in the 90s. I fell in love with that game, and then Allied General, and then so many other General games. And I wanted a modern-day version of that game, and that's what Panzer Corps is. And what I love about this developer is... First thing, he's extremely passionate about Panzer Corps. Like, he does it because he loves it. And, I interviewed the developer on my podcast, Single Malt Strategy. You can find it on your podcast app. And it was an incredible interview, and we found out tons of information regarding this game and its sequel, which I'll talk about later on. So it originally came out for the PC and... platform that I play it on the most, which is the iPad. Yeah, it's available on the iPad, and that's the one I play the most, mainly because the iPad's with me pretty much most of the day. So I get play it on there. And they also have this awesome PBM Plus system in here. So this is something that Slitherine does incredibly well, and I love Slitherine for this. So many other games where you play PBEM, if you guys are not familiar with PBEM, it's play by email. And whenever you finish a turn, you gotta go into your email, attach the email file, send it to your friend. They have to open it up, load it into the game. You don't have to do that with Slitherine. They have a PBM Plus system where if you log into your game, you do your turn, and then you click end turn, the game handles the rest. You send the game to your opponent, right? Give them a little heads up like, hey, by the way, you got a turn waiting for you. They do their thing, and then once they're done, they click end turn, and it sends back to you. You don't have to worry about opening your email file, none of that garbage. Love it, and I can't tell you how much I love this system, because right now I'm actually playing a game where I have to go back to the old PBM system, and it's like... it's a pain in the neck, I'll tell you. All right, next up, Command of the Great War. So one of my games that I don't talk about much is Command of the Great War, and the reason why I don't talk about it much is because I play another game about World War I. That's my go-to game, and I'll talk about that later on, but this game kind of was my go-to World War I game for years. It came out, I believe, in 2012, and it really made a mark because it really gave me the best strategic World War I experience. It had so many awesome things. Like, one real amazing mechanic in this game is, let's say you have the German line here, and I'm playing Germany, right? And I want to attack all across the line, from the top here all the way to Switzerland, right? Every unit. Now, one thing you got to take into consideration is one of the things here is ammo, which is, I believe, here, right? If you attack, it depletes from your ammo stockpile. So if you don't have enough ammo here, enough munitions, right? By the time you get up to this unit, you attack. By the time you get to this unit or this unit, you don't have enough munitions to attack. And so you have to consider that. And that was a huge thing for me. I was like, wow, that's incredible. So that was a big thing, because I was like, you have to kind of plan your offenses based upon your units and your supply, logistics, and munition system, which was awesome. I really love that. Now, this game right here is, to this day, I would have to say, my favorite Slitherine game. And that's a big thing to say. And the reason why is this is my favorite Civil War game to this day. There is no other Civil War game that's better than this to this day. But I can tell you, I've played this game for years. And this game is one of the most incredible Civil War strategic experiences I've ever played in my life. It beat Forge of Freedom. Hands down. This is my go-to. And it is so incredible. It gives you full control of your country. So if you're the Confederacy, right? you design your order of battle, right? You assign your brigades and set up your corps and your armies, right? You put in the brigades. So, like, for example, this division, you put a division commander and you assign, like, you develop, right, for these brigades here, and then assign them to this, name it 5th Division or something like that, and put it under this guy's control. And then you can attach this division to a corps, right? And then again, corps into an army. So I love the order of battle in this. And then there's so much more in this game. Like, I'm barely scratching the surface here. Like, it has so many things that you can do in this game. The event system is amazing, right? There are also, like, decisions, which, let's see if I can find it here. There we go. So this is one screenshot of the decision system. So you can do things like premium for volunteers. You can declare full mobilization. You can, I believe, do emancipation and proclamation kind of thing. There's multiple, as you can see, there's multiple options for decision making, and all these affect the war. And there's just so much, guys. I can't even begin to, like, even start here. There's things that you can do. You could build forts, right, in individual provinces. You could do forced marches. Weather affects your troops moving. It's just incredible. I can't even it's like a drop in a bucket what I'm talking about in this game, because it's just incredible. It's one of my favorites, all-time favorite games I've ever played, and it's on sale. Look at that, 30% off. So, and there was a expansion DLC for it called The Bloody Road South. Now, I didn't think they could top Civil War II, and they did. And how they did that was they came out with an expansion pack, and it was an expansion pack that I wanted. It was the perfect expansion pack to the perfect game, and I'll tell you why. Is because it gives you a multitude of starting off campaigns, and one of the biggest ones was the 1860. You have the 1863 to 1865, but the one that I played the most is this, the Bloody Road South. And I believe you start out, I forgot which part of 1864, but I believe it's close to Sherman's March, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the Confederacy is on the ropes, and I usually play the Confederacy in this scenario, and it's kind of like one of those things, can you hold out, you know? And I have loads of fun with that, because it's, you know, everything's falling apart, and it's kind of like, can I put it back together kind of thing. So it's amazing. You got the, make Georgia howl kind of thing. So yeah, it was a great follow-up to a already incredible game, and you know, I just, man, I love this game. I can't say enough great things about this game. It's just amazing. And the developer that made Age-Odd's Birth of America and Birth of America 2 is the one that actually made this game. And they did an incredible job. This was their cherry on top. This was their, like, this was like the culmination of all their products. This was, like, to me, the best game they ever made. All right, moving on. Afghanistan 11. So this is a pretty recent game, came out in 2017, I believe, and I really enjoyed this game. This game kind of made me feel like I was a battalion commander or regimental commander in Afghanistan. Like, I felt like I was operating the theater. You know, I was moving Marines around. You know, I had to deal with insurgents, you know, and you had to deal with IEDs. And as you're, like, moving soldiers down these roads, you know, Taliban would pop up, attack you, and then you would send in air support. And by the time they get there, Taliban would be gone. And you would have to do, like, missions, like win hearts and minds, while also fighting the Taliban and trying to find them. This game was one of the most immersive Afghanistan war games that I've ever played. It is available on the PC as well as the iPad. I actually play it more on my iPad than anything else. And they had multiple DLCs for it. Royal Marines was a really great DLC for it. I highly recommend that. And it's a game that I've never won, I believe. This is a really hard game to win, but it's a game that I really enjoy playing. All right. This video is going way long, but I had to put in all these because they're all incredible. All right. Armored Brigade. This is one of my favorite games from Slitherine. It's a real-time tactical war game, and I believe it takes place in the Cold War. Yeah, in the Operation Flashpoint. And this game is epic. It's $40, right? And you get, I believe, like half a dozen to a dozen maps. But these maps are massive. They're like, I'm trying to find one here, but like it's a massive strategic map. It's an entire map of an entire region of the globe. So like it would take place in northern Germany, right? And you can zoom in and out, and this game has an incredible zooming system. So you can zoom in from like here all the way down to like, let's see, yeah, to something like this. You can even zoom, I think, even further than this. You can even see like units like right next to buildings and such. And it's a real-time game, so all the moves that you're doing is all real-time. It's not turn-based. And it's a very immersive experience. It was very challenging to play this game, and I really love that. The graphics are really good. I was surprised, like when you have like planes coming by and dropping bombs, it's kind of nice animations, and you can see bombs that were dropped here or some kind of artillery. And it's a really amazing game because it has insane replay value, right? You can take one map of this game, right, and play it over and over and not play the same area twice. Like you could play it probably hundreds of times and not play the same area twice. And that's just one map. And there's multitude ways of kind of playing the game. You can, do a small combat. You can go to battalion, to regimental combat, to brigade. I mean, the sky's the limit on this. Like, you can just go all out and control, like, tons of units. Or, you can just, like, look, I want to do a quick one where, just 2 platoons and go at it and have, like, a really small piece of the map. So, I love this game. Replayability is insane. And it's one of my favorite modern-day tactical games. And I can't think of another modern game that kind of like that I enjoy playing as much as this. This is one of my favorite modern day tactical games. All right, next up, Strategic Command World War II World at War. Now, this came out in 2018. This game I play an insane amount. I believe I'm at like 130 plus hours, close to probably 140 hours of this game, which is insane considering I don't have much time to play games, and that I invested 130 hours in about 2 years, well, less than 2 years actually, in this game. I think there's only one other game that I played this much, which is Star Trek Birth of the Federation. It's my favorite game of all time. I think that's the only other game that I played as much or more than this game. And there's so many mods for this game. There's so many like counter mods and map mods that change this, make the counters look amazing. There's just so many different variations of this game. Like, I believe there's a Napoleonic version of this game. There is a new world version of it. I mean, there's so many mods for this game that you can just have so much replayability. But the most that I play, honestly, is this World War II one. Like, I keep playing, and I play most of the time, I would say, as the Axis, because it's so challenging to actually win. But it's so addictive. This is so addictive. Like, if you ever smoked before, and you're like, man, that's the most addictive thing. No, this would be the most addictive thing. This would surpass that. Because every time I'm playing, and I'm like, you know what, just one more turn, and I would click end turn, go into that one, move all my units. I'm like, dang it, I need to get Berlin, and I would hit end turn and then try it again, and just, I could tell you I invested so, well, as you can see, so many hours, 130 hours, and this is an incredible game. I mean, between the production system, the technology system, like, this game is my go-to World War II game. There's 2 games that I always go to for World War II. Hearts of Iron, if I want to play a a strategic World War II game. But with Heart to Iron, I have to invest weeks, if not months, into that game. And usually I don't have that amount of time, and I'll get bored of it eventually. I'm like, yeah, I'll just get tired of it. This game, you can actually start from 39 all the way to 45 or 46 whenever you want to end the game, and finish it within a couple of days. So it's an incredible game. This is one of my favorite games, and it also comes with an editor. And with this editor, you can basically make your own type of game. You can make like a space game. You can make a World War I game, American Revolution game, anything. The mechanics are already there. You just have to go in and play with the editor. So amazing game. $40. Honestly, for $40, honestly, that's a steal because the amount of hours I got out of that is insane. All right. Next up, Strategic Command World War I. So this game came out after Strategic Command World War II World at War. I started playing this game and I lost count of how many hours I got in this game. Again, it's Strategic Command, but it's pretty much set in World War I. It has different mechanics. It has very many of the same mechanics, but a few different ones. I believe, like, they got colonial units here, Anzacs. Artillery is a big thing in this game. That's something that you gotta. If you ever play this game, invest in artillery. That kicked the crap out of me multiple times. There's a entrenchment system that's been refined in this game. I do like that you could do naval mines. Love that. But yeah, they added more mechanics that kind of like give you that World War I feel. And right now, this is my go-to World War I game. Like I mentioned before, like Command of the Great War was my original. This surpassed that, and yeah, this is an incredible game. Basically took how awesome Strategic Command World War II did for World War II, and it just brought it to World War I. All right, I'm closing up on the list. Panzer Corps 2, could not stop without adding Panzer Corps 2. This basically took Panzer Corps 1, made the graphics next level, modernized it. It's so much. I mean, look at this. Look how beautiful that is. It basically took the fun and addictive nature and just how amazing Panzer Corps 1 was, infused it with how beautiful the terrain and graphics and just, like, look at the shadows here. Oh, man. And then they changed a number of the mechanics. Like, for example, your planes don't just stay idle in the air turn after turn. They actually have to go back to an air base. So while you're advancing, over land, you have to keep an eye on air bases to help support your land forces. So mechanics like that really are amazing. Again, weather effects are amazing. Look at the map. It's just gorgeous. So, yeah, this surpassed my Panzer Corps 1 as my go-to Panzer Corps tactical World War II simulator. And yeah, it's just amazing. The one thing that I always wanted them to change in Panzer Corps 1 was the map, right? Because if you go back to Panzer Corps 1, right, you can see the map's very kind of grayish, very kind of dull. And then you go to Panzer Corps 2, where the map is definitely not dull. It is probably one of the most beautiful tactical maps that I've ever seen. So, again, the same developer that made Panzer Corps 1 made this. Incredible. Love it. All right, I actually have two more, this game and another game. So, I had to include Battlestar Galactica Deadlock. This is... Slitherine won my heart with this game. And I am forever indebted to Slitherine for this because I am a huge Battlestar Galactica fan. I love the 2000s reimagined series. They basically took that, made it a strategy game, an incredible strategy game with insane graphics. It is absolutely gorgeous. When you see Battlestars opening their guns and just starting to fire, it is a thing of beauty. The storyline, the campaign is absolutely incredible. It gives you the whole story, kind of the backstory to the first Cylon War. And you have the Battlestar Galactica in this game. And you have some familiar faces from the television series in this game. I love it. And it's absolutely incredible. As you can see, the graphics are just absolutely incredible. It looks like you're watching something from a movie, from the actual television series. It's absolutely incredible. The explosions, the animations. Look at that. That's actually real life game, like real time gameplay. Like you could actually see it from that kind of perspective. You can save your battles and actually like send it to your friends. Like, dude, check this out. It's gorgeous. I can't say enough good things about Slitherine for this. They actually set this whole thing up, and right now there's this many DLCs for it. I can't even begin. Like with Civil War 2, I can't even begin to just tell you how amazing this game is. All right, this is coming soon. It is Starship Troopers. Now, I love the incredible first Starship Troopers. That movie was one of my favorites, still is one of my favorites, and Slitherine did it again. They went and got the rights to the Starship Troopers IP and are making a real-time strategy game for Starship Troopers. How insane is that? Look at the graphics. Just look at the graphics. And look what happens here in this set. Ooh, wow, that's beautiful. Look at that. Look at the animations. It's absolutely gorgeous. I just got like... I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's... This is something I've wanted since the original movie came out, and I can't believe it's taken this long, right? And finally we have it. And it's perfect because it's a real-time strategy game. You're actually going to be, controlling companies or platoons. As you can see, you're going to be controlling these units. And the one thing I'm very eager for is for a campaign mode, to kind of like learn more about this world, more about this story. And I understand there are more movies, which I really did enjoy. I think I watched the Starship Troopers 2, and I think started Starship Troopers 3. I didn't like it. I'm hoping that this game fills in that backstory because I get to play a strategy game I always wanted to play for an IP that I always wanted a strategy game for, and get to learn more about the backstory for this war, which is really amazing. Yeah, look at these. Oh, man. I mean, just the visuals alone are gorgeous. Being able to set up like forts and then guard them against the hordes of bugs. Oh, man. It's going to be incredible. This game's coming out in 2020. It's coming out this year, and it's just... I'm just so psyched for it. I mean, like, look at this. Look how gorgeous this is. Night battles, day battles. You're going to be able to do, you're going to be able to do colon airstrikes. You're going to see in a second. You see that bug that came in there? Hordes of them coming in. Boom, shakalaka. Oof. Gonna love it, guys. So that concludes this long video. And the reason I wanted to do this is because I wanted to share some incredible games, and there's so many of them, and this is just a drop in a bucket. There's so many other games that I enjoyed from Slitherine, but these are like the games that like I can't live without. Go to Desert Island, these are the games I need to bring with me. I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, happy birthday to Slitherine. Thank you guys for everything that you do. You have made this pandemic that we're going through right now so much more bearable. To be able to play our favorite strategy games has made the hours and days just fly by. So, love it, want more of it. Keep bringing them, Slitherine. And if I could just make one thing, I know we have the Battlestar Galactica IP. I know we have the Starship Troopers IP now. 2 incredible games. I'm hoping the Star Trek IP is next. I really do. All right, guys. Catch you in the next one.